Friends and clients come to me all the time. They ask me about the 50% Chinese partner. You don't need a Chinese partner to own a company 100% in China. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can do that. I've done it myself. I started my business in 2012. I went to every government department and spoke to every official. I've understood the process and in detail. It was much harder back then for me to start a business because you needed to have foreign investment in every business, and now that's not necessary. So it's much easier now. China's welcoming foreign businesses more and more. You don't actually need any registered capital to start a business here. You can actually start a foreign company now without registering any capital. You don't need it to come from a foreign bank either. So it's much easier. It's a great time and a great opportunity for foreign businesses to come here and offer their services. When starting the business, you need to approach it in a specific way. You can't go into China and say, look, I'm going to start a company that does, for example, film production. You can't just say, right, okay, that's what your whole business is going to be. It's important to take the service or the key elements of what you're offering and put that into almost a service or a management viewpoint. So it's really important that you say, right, okay, what are you actually offering? The service that you're offering is perhaps you're offering film crew management, you're offering staff and training, you're offering those skills that Chinese businesses here don't have. And when you look at it like that, you can actually, in almost every case, start a business that is actually helping Chinese companies here and offering them some services. So it's a slight different mindset that needs to just take place. The first step is to think about that. Once you're happy with the kind of management or service company that you're offering, then you need to start to think about where you're going to be located. It's probably a good idea to choose somewhere like Guangzhou here, Shenzhen, Shanghai or Beijing, because they're more open to the foreign businesses coming in. The services and infrastructure is much better, and also the staff. So I wouldn't say to some business that's coming to China that's not lived in China before, if the boss hasn't lived in China before, I wouldn't say let you go to a smaller city. I think that's not going to work out. You need to be in the bigger cities. So once you've chosen the location, think about the kind of Chinese name that you're going to start your company. It's very strict on the name, so you have to start with the city that you're in, then 3 words for your company name, or 3 symbols in Chinese or 2 symbols in Chinese, and then that'll be the company name. And then you have management, service company, and the type of company after that. So they're the key things to think about. Once you've thought about those, then it becomes much clearer as to whether or not you could register as 100% foreign-owned entity. In almost 90% of cases, there is a way to do what you want to do in China and own the company. So legally, if you go to an agency, a Chinese agency here, as a foreigner, they will instantly throw the 50% partner for a Chinese partner at you straight away. So that's the first thing it's not going to work. You know that's wrong already. The second thing they're going to start to talk about is possibly an office. If you are not a big international company coming in with millions of investment, then they're going to say, let's register a 2 or 3 square meter office. That would be the legal registered office address, and that could be somewhere far away from the city. So that's wrong. You really don't want to be going down that route. You don't want to let an agency come to you and say, look, let's start a business and get almost a fake rental contract for your office space. It's not the way to do it. You need, as a foreign company, you need to be in proper foreign offices, and it doesn't have to be expensive. and you start to go down that route, it's very easy to get lost in the really expensive offices in the center of the city. It's not necessary. You can find offices which are central, like this one, and it's not expensive, and this can register foreign companies as well. So there's the office thing, which is really important, and also on the side of the office thing is that you do need to have a special office building for foreign companies. Now, if you go to an agency looking for a foreign office, they're going to say to you, look, it's very expensive, or they're going to make it harder for you to find the right office. But you need to stay persistent, and you need to just say to them, look, show me all the foreign buildings that can register foreign companies in the area, and then they will show you the ones and get the budget for you. But keep trying, and you will do your homework, and you will find an office that's not so expensive in the right location that can register a foreign address in it as well. So those are really, really important things that you're almost definitely going to be ill-advised on if you first come to China and start a business here. Everyone knows about the internet restrictions in China. They're in place for very legitimate reasons. As a business, you need to understand how it's going to affect your business, because if you are a foreign company here and you're offering services to foreigners outside of China, as well as inside China, it's going to be quite difficult to communicate. Things like Skype, the phones, communications outside of China can be challenging, even if you have a business connection to the internet. The internet can be slow outside of China, so it's important to consider, how much do you rely on the internet for your business? How much of your business is online? If you're offering services to Chinese companies in China, then you're absolutely fine if you only need Chinese websites. But if not, you need to have some kind of more solid service that connects you directly out of China and can give you access to the websites that you need for your business. Those kind of services can be set up. China Telecom do actually have a special service that connects you via Hong Kong. It is very expensive, but you can have access to Google and all these other websites at a cost, and that would be a reliable solution to that issue. You could go down other routes. I'm not going to cover that here, but it's certainly something to think about. What percentage of your business is going to need the foreign access, because you're not going to have it. Infrastructure-wise, it's quite hard to find Chinese companies here that will properly set up infrastructure for you. So for example, telephones is very difficult to find a company that will do it unless you contract them yourself. So in my case, I got a Cisco engineer to set up a telephone system for me here. It was low cost because I sourced him myself. I didn't go to Cisco directly, although I found him on the Cisco website as one of the authorized companies on there. In terms of server architecture and networking, it's something that you probably would need to bring expertise from overseas to set up to the standard that you're going to need. So it might be an idea to consider in bringing someone from overseas to set up your infrastructure for your network and get them to set up, and maybe then you have a Chinese engineer that manages it for you. Once it's set up, they can manage it fine. In terms of getting more help, I would say you've got to be very selective on the website or the people that you go to for information. On the internet, the information about starting a business in China it's so diverse and incorrect in so many ways that it's almost very difficult to find the right way out of solutions by looking on the internet for solutions to problems about doing business in China. We are offering services for you that will give you this clear-cut advice. It's going to help you to get through these challenges in the quickest and least costly way. So we've got antianfan.com and also on the China Business Channel website. So if you could go on the website, there's a forum on there. You can ask your questions, I will answer them, and we will help you through any challenges that you may face. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Any questions, do ask me. Go on antianfan.com or go on the chinabusinesschannel.com, and I will help you and advise you further. Next up, we're going to talk in more detail about starting a business with 0 to 5 employees.